I just care so much what people think about me that I must have this fear of man. And how can I overcome this fear of man? Girl Defined will know. What is up, you heathens and demons, you beautiful, blasphemous people? Welcome back to A Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi, and yeah, like Girl Defined is gonna talk about the fear of man and fearing what people think about you. Let's hear what they have to say.
Struggling with worrying about what other people think is something I think every person can relate to. Can you relate to that?
Yes.
I can relate to that. You can relate to that because we all wonder, what are those people thinking about me? And I think in the era of social media and YouTube and commenting, I think it makes it even worse because people aren't just, you're not wondering what some people think about you, you're literally seeing their comments and they're saying sometimes really nice things about you and sometimes not so nice things about you. We get the spectrum from you're terrible, you're ruining people's lives, to you're amazing and you're blessing my life and I'm doing awesome because of you. So it's like...
I think that we all kind of care a little bit, especially if people have the wrong impression of us, a totally wrong impression of us. I think we care in those moments. Generally, I tend not to really care what people think about me. I am who I am. I try to be what I am. I try to stay true to myself. People either like that or they don't. When I get pissed off is when people misrepresent me, or people come at me with a bunch of comments and have never actually listened to my videos or seen my videos, don't know what I'm about. I mean, that's what really aggravates the piss out of me, but I don't care what those people think, and I really don't care that they have misinformation. But if you're gonna come at me with misinformation, I'm gonna go back at you. But I do think that people tend to care about what others think about them. You wanna have people think good things about you, especially if you're a good person. So I think that this is natural. But Girl Defined, they don't think it's very natural. They think it's this fear of man that the Bible talks about, when it's just a natural state to be in. You naturally want people to like you. You naturally want people to acknowledge the good things you do and not misrepresent you.
For thousands of years, the struggle has been happening where
the struggle is real.
The human heart struggles with worrying about what people think about us. And the Bible actually calls this the fear of man. And that, I love how it's just like so like the statement, like the fear of man.
But I find that confusing, to be honest. Like when I hear
it is a little, because it's like, oh, am I scared of you? Like startled, or am I scared of you? Like you're gonna get me? The fear of man is basically, I think in a nutshell, is for any of us placing an unhealthy weight on what other people think about us. And so their opinions of us, whether in real life, on social media, it controls our actions. So we do stuff or we don't do stuff because we're trying to prove a point, or we're scared so we don't do something. And basically other people's opinions, fear, in that sense, that is what's controlling us.
My first point is, did Kirsten just admit to being a young earth creationist? She said for thousands of years. Do you think that the earth has only been around for thousands of years? Because let me tell you about how long we've been around. We've been around for hundreds of thousands of years, and we've probably worried about what the next man or woman is thinking of us for hundreds of thousands of years. And this whole fear of man bullshit, I mean, isn't that what Christianity does? Is it sets up this system for you to be like other people, and if people don't follow these rules, then you look down on them, you think shitty thoughts about them. Isn't that what Christianity is? I mean, I don't really do much, I'm gonna make this video because these people don't like what I'm saying, so I better make a video to appease them. I don't do that much. I try not to do that at all. I did do a name change, but it was more for me. It didn't work, so I changed it back. There, I did kind of fit that mold of trying to, give people what they wanted. But it was something that I could live with. It wasn't compromising anything about myself. And I actually like A Raging Atheist better than Nakasuchi. I think that it describes me better for people trying to find the channel. But as an atheist, I think that I don't have this fear of man. I mean, I've obviously started a channel here going against the social norms, calling out the religion that most have in this country, calling out those bad ideas, calling out what I don't like about it. I've been accused of being a moralizer, not even gonna deny that. I do what I do. You call it what you want, because I don't give a fuck what you think. So hit the thumbs up. Don't hit that thumbs down. Don't hit that thumbs down. Don't tell me you don't like me.
And the Bible actually speaks to this directly, which I'm so grateful that all humans struggle with this and that God understands our struggle. So Proverbs 29:25 says, let me try that again. I struggle with my Proverbs. Proverbs 29:25 says, the fear of man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe. And so basically this verse is saying that if you live under the fear of man, under the weight of worrying about what people think about you and doing things or not doing things because you want to please people or you want to prove something, then that's going to be a trap in your life. And you're going to get stuck in this crazy cycle and you're never going to measure up and you're going to place your worth and identity on your performance. And it's going to be a trap and you're basically going to have a terrible life. I mean, that's like literally what the verse is saying, but it's a trap any of us can fall into. But this verse then says, but he who trusts in the Lord is safe.
Sure, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? Like don't get trapped by this cycle of thought where you worry about what people think. Go worry about what God thinks. God can get you out of that. All you gotta do is worry about what God thinks and how you're breaking his impossible rules. I mean, this is literally what Christianity does. Follow these rules or you're a sinner. Follow these rules or you're going to hell. I mean, it literally sets up a system to where you have to act a certain way or your peers will judge you.
Yeah, like that's not my struggle. I don't really worry. Like, I don't think I struggle with the fear of man.
But I think that it is true. We all do. And so we actually created this little fear of man test. And I'm not going to read to you all of them, but I think it's important for us to kind of bring it down a notch and say, okay, what does this actually look like in real life? What does it actually look like to have the fear of man in my everyday life?
A test? Oh, I love tests. I love it when Christians give me tests. I'm gonna take it.
So I want you to think of these and say, okay, have I ever struggled with any of these? You worry about what other people think of you. Very basic.
No, I don't really worry about what other people think of me at all. I've pretty much pushed away everybody that I loved because I've called out their God beliefs or their political leanings. I don't care what they think. But I'm gonna have to ascertain that as a Christian, you care what they think. You care what your preacher thinks. You care what all those people that go to your church think. Like, if they were thinking that you weren't following the laws of God, or that you were sinning or being promiscuous, or even, I don't know, God forbid, slutty, that you would not like that because it goes against the image that you have portrayed of yourselves. This whole, we are modesty girls and we are special image.
Been there. You make choices to get other people to like you.
No, I literally don't do that. I've had a certain element of people coming at me lately, trying to get me to change stances on certain things, and I pretty much tell them to fuck off.
You give in to peer pressure to fit in.
I mean, like, isn't that the same question? Isn't that the same shit? No, I just said I don't give in to peer pressure to fit in. I'm just me. I do what I do. People like it. People don't. That's on them.
You're afraid to do things because people will judge you.
No, I can't. You don't have me there either. You know, I made this YouTube channel, even though it puts me out there for the whole world to judge me. Most of my family have judged me for being an atheist because I became very open about it. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're still describing Christianity.
You need the approval of others.
You know, I think I've already addressed this. I think we all need the approval of others, especially we want people to have an accurate image of who we are. But generally, I don't really care if people approve of me. I understand that I am an ethical, good person that is capable of making mistakes. And as long as that I'm just honest with myself, honest with those mistakes, recognize those mistakes that I make and acknowledge them, then I can move forward, honestly, just being me.
You stay quiet instead of speaking up for truth.
No, that wouldn't be me, the atheist. That would be you, the Christians. You, the Christians, create truth to match a truth created 2,000 years ago, to where atheists, we're not always right, but at least we're trying to get the truth out there. At least we're trying to get a opposite narrative out there that, hey, no, Yahweh, this douchebag doesn't exist. Like we are trying to get the truth out there, unafraid of the consequences. And by truth, I mean our truth, our personal truths. We all have different truths. There are universal truths, something that is, oh, that's just true, right? Like 2 + 2 = 4, that's true. Maybe. I mean, how do we know 2 + 2 doesn't equal 5? But in all seriousness, I just don't really see a lot of Christians out there trying to get out the truth, unless it's the truth of this fictitious God created 6,000 years ago to control a population of people.
You're scared of making mistakes and being viewed as a failure.
Again, definitely not me. I make mistakes all the time. I fail all the time. And I'm not afraid to do it. Because, fuck it.
You do intentional things to get attention from others.
They might have me on this one. Like, I think they got me on one because, I mean, I obviously made this YouTube channel to get attention from others. But so did they, right? So did they.
You second guess all decisions because you're afraid people won't like them.
I mean, I literally rush into situations without thinking. A lot of people call me a bulldog because I'll just rush right in and then just deal with the consequences. It's kind of what I do.
And then you're freaked out by the thought of having to speak in front of a group of people.
I mean, I literally speak in front of hundreds of people a day. I mean, sometimes 1,000 people. You know, like I literally speak in front of large groups of people. It doesn't bother me at all. So, I mean, I think taking this test, taking this girl-defined fear of man test, like if you don't want to have this fear of man that your Bible talks about, well, you should probably become an atheist.
So as you can see, the fear of man is something that we all struggle with. None of us are exempt from the fear of man. I mean, I can think of times this past week, the week before,
Yes.
where I've struggled with this. Like, the struggle is definitely real and we need help with this. And I am
Right.
so grateful that God has an answer and he doesn't leave us hanging, because
Hallelujah.
it truly is. Like, the weight of living
It
to
is
please
heavy.
others is heavy, and it's very crippling at times. You feel like, should I do this? Should I do, you know, it's literally crippling.
I agree, that is very crippling, and I think I can totally see both of y'all being subject to that, and I think you might be recognizing that yourselves, or you wouldn't have made this video that really kind of makes you look bad. It makes you look like you have this fear of man, and God hasn't taken that away from you. We can tell with every fucking video.
And so I want to turn to Psalm 128:1, where it shows us the answer that instead of living to fear people and to living under that weight, God is calling us to please him and to reverence him and ultimately to worship him above all else.
So again, stop fearing the opinions of actual people that live next to you and could influence your life. Stop fearing those opinions and start fearing the opinion of a God that has never showed himself, of a God that has stayed hidden, of a God that has abandoned you if he exists. Yeah, fear that one. I don't know, call me crazy, but I am gonna slightly worry about the real people that I've actually met as opposed to the fictitious God living up in the clouds watching me do the dirty. So Christians, I think I have clearly shown that if you don't want to suffer from this fear of man syndrome, leave your God behind, and you'll leave that fear behind. As always, I'm your boy Nakasuchi. This is A Raging Atheist. I do videos all the time. Come check me out. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Tell your friends about me. Tell everybody about how cray I am, because I'm crazy. I mean, and I do get a little crazy sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I rage. But thanks for the support, and I'll see you soon.